Kathy Ruholl. I grew up in Lilyville. Most people don't know where that's at. That's just outside of T-Town here. I went to Lilyville School, Green Creek School, and then came here for junior high and high school. I went to Teutopolis High School, graduated in 1994, and then I went to Lakeland to get my associate's degree.
Coming to you about the business that you run here, Teutopolis Treats. You've kind of been well known around here for this. Tell me about it and why you decided to start this.
It started out with tropical snow, actually, and it was actually a joke. I bought it from Ryan and Jody Seamer, and I worked with Jody, and I played tennis, women's tennis league up here on Wednesday nights, and I would always get a snow cone from Ryan and Jody. And one week Jody wasn't working, it was Ryan, and Ryan's like, Ruholl, you should buy this place. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll be back next week with the check. And so the next week I came back, not with the check obviously, but Ryan's like, I really think you should buy this from us. And I'm like, what? And that's how it started. So it started out as a joke, but 16 years later, here I am.
Fortunate to come from a very, very good community. But whenever there's people coming and filing in behind each other as far as cars, it's sometimes backed up a mile long. Talk about that.
First, it makes me nervous because when I see that line, I'm like, oh my gosh. But it's overwhelming. I'm very blessed to see that. The customers rock. They wait patiently. They don't get upset with us. I mean, they are just phenomenal, and we appreciate that so much.
Of course, you have a lot of employees. Tell me how many you have, and also kind of like the appreciation you have for them.
This past summer, I employed close to 20. Obviously, they're all part-time because they have other work schedules, and some go to college during the summer. So well, not so much this year because of COVID, but between their sports schedule, their other work schedule, it's a hassle to get my schedule done for my workers, but I love my crew. They are hard workers. They step up to the plate when I ask them to do something, or if they know I'm in a bad mood because I'm stressed out about something else, they just step up, and they're just awesome.
What are some of the obstacles you face while running this business?
Behind the scenes, there's a lot of paperwork that people don't realize that comes with it, and that's the part I dislike. You gotta stay on top of that. And then when you order like from a different state and that order doesn't get here on time and people are like, well, I want this. And I'm like, I'm sorry, my order didn't come yet. That's frustrating on my end, but I understand with the companies when their delivery policy and things like that. Another obstacle is when we have ball game nights and my machine gets a little runny because you guys are awesome and you keep coming, but yet my machine can't keep up. And the ice cream gets a little soft, but other than that, we work through it.
The number one thing you like about running this business?
Oh gosh, the number one is probably seeing the children smile. Like I also work for the school here in town, so when they put 2 to 2 together, like Miss Ruholl works here, and they just smile because they're like, oh, Miss Ruholl, you work here. Like it's just a great feeling. And then when you hand them their snow cone or ice cream cone, and they smile because it's like, oh my gosh, it's definitely a good feeling.
About kind of what you've learned in the 16 years that you've run both businesses.
What I've learned is there's just some things out of your control, and because I would lose sleep over things like that, and I've learned through the years that it's out of your hands. You just have to deal with it and move on, and it will get here. And I'm speaking of orders when they don't get here on time. It's just out of my control, and I've learned to not lose sleep as much and just calm down, and it will get here when it gets here.
Who has helped you along the way and why you are the way you are today?
Definitely my parents. They're no longer with us, but actually my dad was upset when I bought this business because in his eyes, a woman doesn't own a business. But I proved him wrong, and 16 years later, here I am, and I know he's proud of me, and he didn't say things like that very often, but you could just tell because he came up here every Sunday and brought Mom, and they would order ice cream, and they would pull around and sit here and eat it and while watching the customers. So
what is your number one seller as far as things that people buy? What's that number one thing?
Our twisters. And I don't know if it's because they can get any topping they want in it, but our twisters are definitely our number one seller. My favorite thing is anything with cherry. We have cherry syrup, or we have the cherry cone dip. I just love anything with cherry.
If you weren't running Teutopolis Treats, what would you have done instead, Kathy?
Oh my gosh, Tyler, that's a hard one. Let me back up in my life here. Like when I started my DO job, it was a teacher's aide. So I always thought I would be a secretary like my sisters. So I never thought I'd be working for the school as a teacher's aide or a bus driver. So I'd probably, I'm still doing that, but if I didn't have the business, I'd probably just do that and go home and not worry about behind the scenes.
What has running this business done to change your life?
I have definitely opened up more. I was such a shy person that you can't be like that when you're dealing with customers. And now I like to shoot the you know what with them. And so that's definitely helped me along the way. Follow your gut and keep things simple. I mean, you're going to hear suggestions from customers. You should do this, add this, bring this in. But I'm not like that. Like, I'll listen to the customers on some aspects, but just keep it simple and they'll still come.
Other than snow cones and ice cream, what other things do you sell?
We sell gift certificates and fountain soda, but through these winter months, we don't do that just because we're open just 1 week in a month.